Peter the Great and Alexander II, the history of reforms. In the history of our country, there are many rulers who, by making fundamental decisions, changed the course of Russia's historical development. The most sweeping changes were characterized by the activities of Emperors Peter the Great and Alexander II. Both autocrats assumed the burden of government at a time when the country was ossified in the grip of centuries-old foundations. Both were forced to implement reforms that fundamentally changed traditional ways of life. Many of the transformations of Peter the Great were drastic and met with serious resistance from society. He ruled with a heavy hand, strengthening the autocratic power in every way. In turn, Alexander II, realizing the need for public administration reforms, approved the draft constitution created by Count Mikhail Loris-Melikov. To carry out his ambitious projects, Peter needed a huge amount of labor, so he increasingly imposed serfdom on the peasant class. And only 130 years after his death, on February the 19th, 1861, Alexander II signed a manifesto granting peasants personal freedom. Peter's military reforms greatly improved the combat effectiveness of the Russian army, but by the second half of the 19th century, Peter's system had become obsolete. Then Alexander II carried out his own reform, some principles of which remain in Russia to this day. During his reign, Peter I began to use mass celebrations in his struggle for reform. He created a special institution, the all-joking Synod of Fools and Jesters, thanks to which new ideas were introduced into the consciousness of his subjects. Over time, mass celebrations became the most important means of influencing the public consciousness. Alexander II used the bicentennial of Peter I to achieve many political goals. The planned festivities were intended to unite, in the minds of the people, the two reigns, Peter the Great and Alexander II. The first one transformed the state into the Russian Empire. The second freed Russian people from the yoke of serfdom and marked the beginning of a new stage in the development of the country.